Hey guys, so I'm gonna I found a cool little list and it has all the well, not all the things, it has quite a bit of things that um the government, the American government is allowed to do. But if you were to do it, ooh, I'd like you all to listen to the differences in what they call them. So, here's one. First one is called a Patriot Act. That sounds really nice, you know. When you hear the word patriot, you think standing up for your country and what you believe is right and everything like that. But if you were to be in court and you were being charged with something identical to the Patriot Act, it wouldn't be called a Patriot Act because you're not part of the government. You're a citizen. You're part of the militia. When you're charged with this, it's not a Patriot Act. It's called felony wiretapping. That's listening in on other people's conversations without their knowledge. Another one, enhanced interrogation. Sounds pretty nice, sounds simple, sounds like it kind of sounds like when you go to interrogate someone, there's this little advanced settings, you know, that you click on and you can control shit. But if you were to be charged with enhanced interrogation, it wouldn't be that. It'd be called torture. No-knock raids. Sounds pretty nifty. I mean, the word raid kind of gives it away. You know, that, simple enough, is breaking and entering. Then there's taxation, which is, if you were to be charged with taxation, it would be armed robbery. If you were to be charged with kidnapping, the government would just call it being arrested. If you were to be charged with holding hostages, the government would just call it indefinite detention. Indefinite detention. The detention part of the phrase makes it seem like you're going to get out. Indefinite detention. That's holding hostages. Tribute to the mafia, also known as income and property tax, because taxes, if according to our Constitution, shouldn't exist in this country. Terrorizing, or protecting and serving. The word terrorizing comes from the act of scaring the shit out of someone. You have caused terror in that person, no matter what you've done. I could go to a fucking Walmart naked and I'd be a terrorist because it'd blow people's minds away. They'd be like, oh my god, he's naked, you know, be freaking the fuck out. Indoctrination. But, and this is indoctrination is when you're, I think it's when you're pushing your knowledge and beliefs on another person as truth without, well, I mean, if any kind, I mean, truth or not truth, because we don't really know the truth. Anyway, the government calls it education. We call it lying, and the government calls it making a campaign promise. You'd be charged with bribery while the government gets away with campaign contribution. You'd probably get a couple of days, or you know, you might get yelled at by your wife or something because you were a little aggressive. Well, government gets away with it and calls it defense operation. Land theft. This one's a little bit, it's basically just taking person's property forcefully and shit. And you know what its nice name for it is? Military occupation. Invasion. Peacekeeping missions. We as a nation do not have the right to go into any other nation and think that because we're a first world country and they're a third world country, they should be smelling our asses and giving us candy and sucking our cocks and licking our tits or whatever the fuck, because that person that lives over in Uganda or New Guinea or which whatever is no different than you. The only difference would probably be language, skin color, and he's probably not a fucking douchebag. You'd be charged with sexual assault, but you probably get one of these, like, not every time you go to the airport, but if you go through the little beep, 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 you get a TSA pat down. Your kids would probably be like, Dad, why are you spying on the neighbors? That's considered national security. And then, very last one, this one they took a 9-letter 2-word phrase, and this is what I like about it. This is the only thing, is that they took that 9-letter 2-word phrase and made it 3-letter 1 word. And you know what that is? Mass murder to war. But anyways, so that's just been like 18 or something like that of different, I mean not different things, 18 things with 2 different names depending on whether or not you're part of the government or you're part of the militia. The only sucky part is if you're part of the militia, you can spend the rest of your life behind bars for these things. If you're part of the government, well, you get a check and you get to go home and see your kid and your wife or your mistress or whatever the fuck, or your, you know, I don't know your orientation. So anyways, it was nice talking with you guys, even though none of you guys watch my fucking videos. Bye!